Well, I was trying to wait for somebody to pop on, but let's get started anyway. The topic for this video is how to be friends with God. And actually, this video is thanks to my wife, with whom I was having a conversation about my previous video about parents and how we have to let our parents off the hook and learn from their mistakes and become the people that we wish our parents were. And then we pass that on to our kids and going on and on ad infinitum. And as we were talking, at some point, she brought up religion. And she wasn't raised religious. She was raised Catholic, Easter, Christmas, christenings, that sort of thing. And she, on her own, got into different types of spirituality, always still had an affinity for Jesus adjacent faith, as well as a faith toward kind of like a divine feminine kind of thing going on. And it didn't match with the way I was raised, but at the same time, our commitment to our spirituality kind of brought us into closer relational proximity. So, as we've talked over the years, she articulated that the way some people deal with God is the way that she might have dealt with her parents, where they look at God as the voice in their head that tells them what they should and shouldn't do. And then we kind of extrapolated off of that a little bit. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? Let me do a conversation about what it means to be friends with God. And I'm not going to make this very long, but I think it's very important to think about because a lot of us do not know how to be friends with God, and we don't even know how to be friends with our parents. But what a joy it is when you get to a stage in your relationship with your parents where you can be as friends to them. And the same thing is true of being friends with God. And so the invitation today is to think about what that means. In the Bible, Abraham and Moses were called friends of God. And later, Jesus, when he was about to bounce because he was getting murdered, he said to his disciples, no longer do I call you servants, but now I call you friends. And that was the highest mode of relationality with Christ. And the same is true for God. Because when you become a friend with somebody, you meet them on equal terms. And some people may have a problem with that, but the Bible says that Jesus didn't have a problem with that. So if somebody has a problem with it, take it up with Jesus. The point is that when we get to a certain level of consciousness, we should be able to meet are people who have been above us in our mind from a level of equality where we can share in the joys of knowing the knowledge that each other knows. If your parents teach you what they know and you can meet them there. If your teachers teach you what they know, then you eventually can meet them there. If the same goes for your relationship with the creator, there are so many things that we miss out on because we put ourselves in these low subjugated spaces when the ideal of spiritual evolution is to get to a place in consciousness where you can be more like God. And the Bible says that it tells you to be perfect, even as the creator in heaven is perfect. And I don't think it's BSing when it says that. There's a level, perfect is as a word for maturity. So there's a level of maturity that you can get to where you can approach the creator the same way you would a friend. And that's how I've been rolling with the creator for a long time. You tell the friend, you don't hide from the friend, you receive from the friend. It's this open dialogue that you mutually learn and grow from because God learns from us just as we learn from God. And some people don't like that notion, but if there's any freedom in us, then there must be things that we can withhold. But when we divulge those things that we withhold to our friend, then our friend learns and benefits from that, just like I think God does the same. So in this short video today, I just want to say that we can be friends with God, but it takes treating God like a friend, not treating God like some person that wants to just punish you and beat you down and treat you like maybe how your mom and daddy treated you, which I think is what a lot of people do. Or in like slave Christianity, where I came from, you get treated the way the masters in slavery treated us. And we think God's the same way. And a lot of people from that colonizing type of Christianity, they think God's a colonizer like them. So they want to go out and try to destroy everything and take everything because that's where they think God is. But the God that lives within the inner part of your being, that God that knows you as you are and accepts you as you are and invites you into being more, that God is your friend. And I think that if more of us make friends with God, we'll be able to be friends with each other. So that's a brief little video for today. I'll talk more about it at another time, but I think my pizza's burning. Peace.